So the first poem I'm going to do from the book Wanderlust Women, which looks like this, is to do with Brexit, I suppose. And my son is German. My granddaughters are Andalusian Spanish. My brother's married into Barga in Italy, or was for 28 years. And my other brother is married to Ireland, a woman from, and my daughter is just got engaged to a man from Larne. So I consider myself a Scottish European, and I would like to start with this poem called Identify Scottish European. In Paisley from Barga, the Italian nonna, always rushing and gifting, hands flapping, lifting the children into the noise of Christmas tastes to savour, flavoured Italia on the Glasgow Road, Paisley. German son of the Swabian Stamm, his translating father, working on Kelman, slides over language, easy unspoken, brings broken glottal stop joy and questions rising in the throat, healing near language for home. Hymelic nest. On the rural roads to Inshinnan, anticipate the Irish dances of a brother's mother-in-love with soda bread, the furies, and then the feelings at New Year herald us all, mute in the garden, eyes gleaming. By the Alhambra, my 2-year-old granddaughter is silent. The R in Annie, a sound too far. So I've become the island Annie. A little wild and bedraggled, staggering through the red castle, sun stupefied by the patio of lions high above her home in Granada. I wrote to a woman that I just I'm one of these people who just try things out, I kind of go forward, even when it's not always desperately required. I wanted, but I got this idea to get the Wanderlust Women to Italy this year, and what a time we had. What was it like, girls? It was fantastic. We read in the University of Pisa to 4th year English literature students who were amazing. The questions they asked were frightening. And we're since appearing in a journal, a literary journal in Italy, representing Scotland, and just like ambassadors for the country is how I described it there. So it was sweet for me because I was the bridesmaid to my brother when I was 17, not yesterday. And what I did at that time was I learned for the wedding in the Casa d'Italia in Glasgow, I learned 2 Italian songs to sing, because I sing. And one of them, what you might remember, was Non ho l'età, which was a pathetic pop song that won the Eurovision Song Contest. And the other one I kind of sought out myself, and it ended being a partisan song during the war. So I filled all the old grandpas for Barga with tears, They loved it, but it was a very emotional time. So I've never been to Barga and had always wanted to go, so that was part of the reason I dragged these lovely women away over there. So reading this, and I wrote this particularly for going to Barga, and it's called Si fermi qui, which means stop here. Signor Capitano, si fermi qui, sono tanto stanco, mi fermo sì. Attento, sparano, chi butti giù. That day, in the Casa d'Italia, the elderly men wept. Songs of the partisans stirred the ancient river, crossed El Ponte della Maddalena, there at the wedding of my brother. Family from Barga here to celebrate, surprised at this song from long ago of tired young boys in the snow of Sommo Colonia wading the Serchio River, surrounded and gathered us still. So 50 years on, in Barga, finding family, voices and poems, wandering stories and songs, here in the Aula Culturale, younger women repeat the refrain, our anti-war songs rise again for Ukraine and Russia, boys north of the Black Sea. Signor Capitano, si fermi qui. Thank you. So the next poem I'm going to read is, I'll not just read that one actually. My daughter, as I say, is about to, she's getting married. My son's getting married on Saturday. Yippee! So I'm trying to be here, but I'm actually watching veils and all that. And this is very, very excited. I thought I was a hippie, but I'm actually looking forward to a wedding, which is so unusual. I can't believe myself. Anyway, my daughter's getting married next year to this chap from Larne, and we had sitting out chatting, having a glass of wine and all that, and it's got some interesting stories from him, and I wrote this poem. It's called Port Town, and it is July. Post-Brexit, the fires build 10 stories high in Boyne Square. Those who live there watch wooden pallets stoking the flame the night before the glorious 12th. Windows implode, then shatter. And does it matter that the money came from the council? Grants to burn maps deep into the mines and melt resistance in the more progressive kind of thinker. Others sit by the telly to celebrate the chaos, refuel generations of family bigotry that cut scars deep into the skin of centuries. And as the freight from Europe rolls, the port workers guard goods and hope to stay alive in the blazing spirit of land. So this year the grant was £10,000 to build one of these huge wooden structures, and you might have read one man fell off while building it, so they collapsed the thing and burnt it flat to celebrate the 12th of July. Anyway, I wrote this poem. The Wanderlust Women were at Trinity College, Dublin, last month. It was an amazing experience, and we were all out on the sauce one night, just staggering about, having a laugh. There was musicians, we were doing some music, and again, it was kind of cultural ambassadorship, I suppose. And we were walking along, and I mean, we've all got our funny things. My funny thing is to go left field and wander about on my own, which to the worry of some of my friends, because I don't see well and it's night time. But anyway, they went on, and eventually I could hear Leslie saying, just leave her, and they went away. So that was fine. So I was away wandering down by the docks. This is perhaps going to be in the new collection. I'm just putting it together. And I was wandering by the docks, and then I literally turned round. They're quite big, so it was a surprise that I hadn't seen them, but my trajectory was different. I was watching neon lights across the river and comparing the old pubs with the new Dublin. Mulligan's with this new place. And then, anyway, this poem's called Still Darkness, after the famine statues, Dublin. Night falling as you trudge forward. It was a sudden coming upon, a getting to know, a staying and holding your hand. The land of error beneath feet, once faltering, now still and dead. But this statue's pulling me up out of this time, tramping back to days of the hunger, despair and loss. You whisper, secrets of hope. Once upon a field of flowers, I make to touch your trailing hair, but you care no more for intimacy. You swear that you cannot go on, the bundled baby already withered, but you hold him still. The Garda siren takes my attention and turns me away from you to the fading light of the dock. I stop then dead in the neon and weep to leave you, still starved in the darkness. So this poem's from the new collection as well, I think. It's still I've noticed there's lots of wee scribbles on it, so forgive me, it's still at that kind of scribbly stage. It's called Something Like Contentment. I run creative writing trips. In fact, I had such a good time in Barga. I'm just taking a group that I just created it. That's what I mean, that going forward thing. Might work, just do it, Linda. So I'm taking a creative writing group to a retreat that I've created in a villa in Barga in October. So this is after another of these retreats. I'd gone up all around the train and in Malig and over to Egg where I've got some friends. I thought this would be good to do a writing trip. So I did take a group of people, probably our age, and I thought that would be safe. It's not like taking the young students for uni to Paris, where it's a nightmare. I thought it would be good, but they get so pished. I mean, it was unbelievable, the people of our age. They were worse than the students in Paris. So by the time that trip ended, I was just like, oh, good God. So I'd always wanted to go to Neudarp Peninsula, and now they have a boat. So when everyone left, I got the boat over to Neudarp for Something Like Contentment. Loch Horn or hell is a hillside away. Ben Nevis or heaven is heaving rain. I'm drinking it all in, and the Arctic gin. White liquid in the summer wind, soothing my soul. The lapping waves lull the scene. Drink on lemons of light. Bliss and bleached, the wooden bench and sideways scribbling, worshipping the shimmering light from the shore of Neudarp. Shadow of a pen nib, speed in tripped fingers, contrast with the slow break and ebb. Both hands cup and raise the chalice of ice sunlight. How sweet, how sure. The wet pets the lips open, ceremonious and certain, something like contentment, here between heaven and hell. So I'd like to finish off. I should have brought some down. I brought an album out during lockdown, which is really bad because I was launching it in March 2020, I think, and that was it. So they now tile my bathroom, so if anybody wants to get in touch for a nice album, it's called The Sirens. It's been played quite nice. I come into the kitchen in here. What's that girl down in radio in London? The girl like used to sing with Tom Jones and all, that Welsh girl.
Oh, Ceres Matthews.
Ceres Matthews likes it. She says things like, there's a young girl in Glasgow. I'm kind of like, oh no. Thank fuck it's radio, you know. Anyway, so she loves it, she plays it, so it's quite sweet, you know, making my toasted cheese and there I am. But anyway, so when you make music, I like to take it away myself. I've got a drummer I've worked with in today and it's fabulous to see him. Hello, Martin. Loved working with him for years and hopefully will again. But anyway, this is when you take the album away and just listen. So I drove up to Cape Wrath, no less, and all round. It's called For the Offski. I'd just like to finish this and thank you all very much for listening. And thank this lovely woman for inviting me. Inside the car, red hair flying, the north of Scotland is lying waiting and wide. I'm here to focus on the arrangement, the structure of a song that slipped my heart. Siren, singing by the Cape of Wrath, bass harmonics by the sound of sleet, guitar picks dancing the tides of Durness, and I sing inside the car, affirming freedom with my voice, aiming to mine the sea. Thank you very much for listening.